Hello and welcome to yet another episode of One Take, and I'm talking in the backdrop of much politics being played over the JPC and the Adani issue.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी का अदानी के साथ क्या रिश्ता है?
We all know that one of the closest topics for Rahul Gandhi these days is attacking the Prime Minister and the government and accusing them of cozying up to Adani and actually defending them. Whenever we've confronted him, we've asked him this question, and in the backdrop of the parliamentary disqualification of Rahul Gandhi and the fact that the parliament was completely disrupted and the government was insistent and stubborn that it's not going to allow a JPC to be set up because the matter is sub judice, Rahul Gandhi had only one thing to say to us. Go and ask the government that where are the shell companies floated by Adani Enterprises. Go and ask the government why is it they are going all overboard to defend the Adanis.
20,000 crore rupees or $3 billion are in shell companies owned by Mr. Adani. Mr. Adani could not have generated this money. Where did this money come from? Whose money is it?
So will that become the big issue in the run-up to the 2024 elections? In the state elections, certainly it looks like it that the Congress is going to make it a big electoral point. In fact, in the first elections coming up in the states is that of Karnataka, and Rahul Gandhi, who is expected to campaign extensively, will certainly make the point that the central government is corrupt, much like the state government of Karnataka is, and therefore questions need to be asked of the BJP and the Prime Minister himself. But 2024 is the big election. And it's a big election because the Congress party obviously will not be facing the ballot box on its own. There's a talk about alliance. We already have the Congress President, Mallikarjun Kharge, reaching out to like-minded political parties like the RJD, like Nitish Kumar, DMK of course, but also reaching out to parties like, say, the Trinamool Congress, the left parties, but of course the DMK, which is their ally, and Shiv Sena as well. But here's the problem. The moment Rahul Gandhi talks about Adani as being the big issue for 2024 elections, not everyone is on board. Not everyone thinks it can be a winning electoral slogan. And there's a history behind it. The reason why I'm asking this question this week is because of a recent interview or comment by the NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar. He said that the opposition needs to come out with a people's issue, a positive campaign. Clearly, he was skirting the main name, but he was making that ishara. Congress party should not focus, or the opposition parties must not focus on only the Adani issue. They should talk about people's issues like joblessness, rising prices, so on and so forth. But why did he make that comment? See, he's a very shrewd politician. He has that acumen, he also has a nose to the ground. I'm just going to step back in history a bit. In the last Lok Sabha elections, we know the biggest mantra which was pushed by the Congress party and by Rahul Gandhi is Chaukidar Chor Hai.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि हिंदुस्तान का चौकीदार.
Of course, his ishara was at the Prime Minister, as a result of which the BJP lapped up to this campaign, and suddenly you saw the Twitter handle of all the BJP politicians saying, putting up a picture of the Chaukidar, trying to show that Chaukidar is someone or the guard who protects the nation. And they twisted this entire narrative in their favor. When there was a post-mortem taking place after the electoral results came in of the last Lok Sabha elections, there were many like Anand Sharma who were quite vocal at a stock-taking CWC meeting, which is also known for Rahul Gandhi's resignation as a party president on the grounds that he takes the responsibility for the poor performance of the Congress, but he also made the point that not many supported me in my campaign. There were some, Anand Sharma was just pointing out, who were very frank and bold to say that we weren't convinced that the Chaukidar Chor Hai comment would actually help the Congress party. It ended up helping the BJP because the BJP is a master in this game. Why? Because the Prime Minister has always done well whenever you made attacks on him.
मुझे विश्वास है कि देश की जनता चौकीदार पसंद करती है.
See, you can criticize the Prime Minister for many things, but the thinking within the BJP is that the people will just not believe that he can be personally corrupt. Leading a frugal life, that's what the BJP pushed the campaign. Someone who calls himself a saver of the people, how can he be called corrupt? And therefore, the reason why they had those Twitter handles being changed to Chaukidar. Ki hum hain Chaukidar, we are also Chaukidar. And therefore, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra may not have agreed, and they were very upset. The fact remains that not many in his own party were convinced that Chaukidar Chor Hai or the Rafale issue would actually be a winning slogan, and we saw that that's exactly what happened. But in that stock taking by other opposition parties who were allies of the Congress were also parties like the Trinamool Congress and also, of course, Sharad Pawar. Both of them, in their own individual way, made the point that Chaukidar Chor Hai comment actually backfired on the Congress party and on the opposition. And that's the reason why the UP alliance has never come back to power. And that's exactly the point which is now being made by both Sharad Pawar and also by Mamata Banerjee. Now, many of you will, of course, say that if it's really the case, then why is it that the Trinamool Congress supported the Congress party inside the parliament session? It's the last concluded budget session. Here's the difference. There are two takes behind it. One, the issue which Mamata Banerjee made was that of the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi. She pointed out that if it can happen to him, where the government goes into a tearing hurry to implement the law, evict him from his house, it can happen to any one of us. But the second reality is also on the ground. There are panchayat elections coming up. We know, for example, the BJP is being very aggressive. But also, the Congress is not completely lagging behind. In the by-elections, they won. And that is a slight worry in the TMC that if the Congress starts doing too well and becomes the enemy number one, then it could actually work to the advantage of the BJP. So that was a real politics concern which perhaps made Mamata Banerjee defend the Congress. But over the Adani issue, well, there's already a difference of opinion. Because on the JPC issue, for example, the Trinamool Congress has gone on record to say that we don't think it is something which can work. What we need is a court-monitored probe, which is taking place, because the JPC, any case, is filled up with BJP leaders, so they will give a verdict or a judgment, which is at the end of the day going to suit the BJP, and the House is not, or the government is not under any compulsion to accept the JPC reports. Therefore, what to go for it? So there's already a difference of opinion. And Mamata Banerjee, in a closed-door negotiations and talk, has already made it very clear that she does not agree with the Congress party over the Adani issue. That's as far as the Trinamool Congress goes. Let's talk about the other side of the NCP. Now, Sharad Pawar has the distinction of being a very veteran leader who has friends on both the sides. Both where there's a BJP. In fact, they say that it's very difficult to figure out whose side is he on. At times attacking the BJP, at times defending the Congress party, at times seemingly defending the BJP. In fact, he also has very good equations with the BJP and the Prime Minister himself. Now, recently he's made it very clear in his comment that he doesn't think that the Adani comment is something which can actually work for the opposition for 2024, and therefore they have to take up a people's issue, a real issue. Which now makes me come back to the point. Is Rahul Gandhi's favourite slogan going to boomerang on the opposition parties once again? My opinion, possibly so. Because if I'm going to fall back on history and say that in the last Lok Sabha elections, Chaukidar Chor Hai or the Rafale movement did not work in favour of the Congress or for the opposition, it's highly unlikely that this time round it's also going to be working for the Congress or the rest of the opposition. And mind you, there are many within the Congress party who actually feel that we are under a compulsion because we need to support Rahul Gandhi on his points. But at the same time, the only way you can reach out to the people and make them understand is not on this issue. It's on issues which hurts them the most. For example, rise in milk prices, rise in vegetable and fruit prices. Daily grocery expenditure has increased. The monthly bills are falling apart. Lack of jobs. These are the feelings which Congress leaders, many of them feel, is something which should be pushed forward by the Congress party for the 2024 elections. If you notice, a large number of tweets coming in from the Congress president is very nuanced. Not talking so much on the name Adani, but on the fact is that the government is just not showing any concern for the common man. So I personally feel, and I do want your opinions on this, that the pushing the Adani envelope may not work for the Congress, may not work for the opposition. In fact, it can lead to kind of a rift in this entire idea of opposition unity. Of course, what are your thoughts? I want to know your opinion. Do give in your reactions. Once again, Thank you so much for watching.